So, hello and welcome to Underwise everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Today we are going to talk about Boruto manga chapter 66. Let me just quickly figure out the settings in a little bit of time because the chat window is probably not updating. Uh, Let me just refresh it real quick. And then we will properly begin with the actual video. Yeah, it is properly set up now. So welcome 02, welcome Suryansh, welcome Rishi, welcome Anwar. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. We are going to talk about a lot of stuff in today's video, in today's live stream. So just stay tuned. In the meantime, before we actually begin, just let me know if my voice is coming all right. If there's any issue, just let me know, and then we will properly begin. I think there shouldn't be any actual issue here, but still, regardless, I'm just asking you all. I have already reset my net browser once today, so I don't think there should be any problem actually. I think we are going good. Just let me know once, and I'll probably awake. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna talk about timescape and a lot of the stuff. There's a bunch of stuff which I need to discuss in today's video. Let me quickly turn on this setting, and we will properly begin. But in the meantime, guys, please do share the video to your friends. Please do share this on Twitter so that more people can actually join in. And let me quickly just share the video on my Discord server as well, so that we can officially begin here. Thanks, Anwar. I think we are good to go now. So let me just quickly share this video, and then we will begin. Why am I getting this error? Resources exhausted. What does that even mean? I don't know. The stream is running fine, isn't it? But why is it showing me the resource has exhausted? Because there's no actual drop here. There's no frame drops or anything. It should be fine. Yeah, now it's working fine. I'll just share it quickly on Discord, and then we will begin. Alright, the video is shared, and let's just begin today's discussion stream. So, hello and welcome to Underwise once again, and thank you so much for joining in, each and every one of you. Today we're going to talk about Boruto manga chapter 66. Now, usually what I do with these live streams for the Boruto manga is that I generally read the overall chapter, give my thoughts, and just that's it. But today I'll be frank with you all, I'm gonna do a read through, a basic read through, but that won't be my actual review here. In fact, there's actually a lot of stuff going on in this chapter which I wanted to discuss, but I just didn't got the time today to, record all of these sessions individually. I just got the time to record the Amado video. That video is already out on my YouTube channel. Go and check it out once the stream is done. But there's a lot more stuff which I actually want to discuss here, and I just didn't get the time from work. So what I'm going to do here in this video is that I'm going to go over all of those topics one by one, and I'm going to use the voice and like whatever I'm saying here in this live stream and individually clip them for my upcoming videos. So just a heads up for all of you that this video is probably going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to discuss in details a lot of stuff which I'm going to make videos upon from tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. With that being said, let's just directly jump into this chapter. I'm just gonna say right out of the bat, the cover looks really good with Kawaki in there, but that neck of Kawaki is just absolutely horrendous. Like, what is that neck? That looks like Hold on, I should probably just show you all this. I think that would be fine. Yeah, as you can see, this is the neck of Kawaki, and this looks, I don't know, this looks totally alien looking like. I'm not going to show the actual pages here on the stream just because of copyright issues. If I do that, I'm going to get copyright strike like anything. But this is just the first page. I don't think it should have any issues whatsoever to just show this one. And yeah, indeed, the manga pacing is finally, like, yeah, the pacing is picking up in a way. Suryans, that is absolutely correct. Hey Kushal, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining in. Now, with that being said, let us jump into the actual chapter. So, yeah, now this is the part which I shared or said in my first part of this video, or first video of the day, which is in relation to Amado. I'm gonna make a very controversial statement later on while we are at the stream, so hang on tight for that. But Amado begins this chapter initially, and basically what he's saying here is that he has manipulated Kawaki in this particular chapter. Yeah, that's the basic gist of everything which is going on here. Amado, and this is sort of like a flashback which is happening here. Amado says that you want to protect Lord Hokage, right? You need more power to deal with Code, enough to take him down. So take it for yourself, a brand new power in the form of a karma that's purely a weapon. You have the base criteria and I can make it happen. It's all up to you, Kawaki. The choice is in your hands. Now, the word choice is the key aspect here, because this is a lie. This is outright a lie. Amado has not given Kawaki any choice whatsoever. This is a very clever trick which has been utilized by Amado here. It's a psychological trick wherein Amado has showcased the vulnerabilities of Kawaki here. He has essentially shown him that, okay, I am giving you two choices here. You can get powerful on your own, or you also have the choice to choose this new karma, which is in the form of a weapon. You don't have to worry about Ishiki Otsutsuki at this moment. You don't have to worry about any other shenanigans. This is purely a karma based out of weapons. So you have the choice here. If you want, you can get this karma once again. And Kawaki would be like, yeah, of course, I need more power in order to save the Lord Hokage. And I'm going to do that no matter what the cost is, no matter what the means are for me. I am going to save the Lord Hokage. And that is the trap. That is the moment where Kawaki is actually trapped into the hands of Amado, because this is not a choice. This is a clever trick of manipulation which has been given to him by none other than Amado. Amado has manipulated here. Amado has manipulated Kawaki by giving him the apparent belief that he is having the capacity to choose something, wherein both the choices are actually put forth by Amado. This is a win-win situation for Amado here, and he basically knew that Kawaki is going to choose the new karma because he has seen the obsession that he has had with Naruto. And Amado basically exploited that. That is the reason why Kawaki, quote unquote, chose the new karma. And I'm going to talk about the new karma, what exactly that new karma is, in just a bit. So hang on tight for that. But what happens is that we finally get the proper reveal of this new look of Kawaki. This is not that different from the usual form which we have seen so far, and how he has Ishiki Otsutsuki's horns. But it's not just about the horns at this moment. He in fact also has the eyes of Ishiki Otsutsuki. Now this is interesting. This is very interesting because this is not just, the Byakugan. This is the dojutsu which was utilized by none other than Ishiki Otsutsuki. And later on in this chapter, we also find out that he's using the Daikokuten and the Sukuna Hikona. That is, both the abilities of Ishiki Otsutsuki are being utilized by Kawaki here in this new karma form of his. This is interesting. This is definitely 100% interesting and sad at the very same time. Amado has successfully manipulated Kawaki. Kawaki was under the assumption that he has been able to choose this form, he has been able to save Naruto by choosing this form, by choosing this new power, but it was something which Amado has done all along. Without even his permission, Amado created or replanted this karma into the body of Kawaki, and it's my belief here that if Kawaki actually chose not to use the karma, Amado would have just gone out of his way and he's like, okay, I've given you the karma, just utilize the powers of this karma at the very last moment whenever, Kawaki's in a very dire situation. So it was a win-win situation for Amado either ways. Like, it is something which Kawaki has to deal with now. And why? The question here is, why is Amado doing all of these things? Well, as I discussed in my previous video, I think that Amado is not going to be the actual quote-unquote main villain of the series. A lot of people are maybe going on a wrong tangent here, thinking that Amado is going to be the secret villain, who is going to be the secret boss unfolding, who is manipulating things from the shadows. And that is not a wrong way to assume things, specifically because in the Naruto series, the shadow plays a lot of interesting parts. People in the shadows manipulating things from the behind. It's something which is intrinsic to the old Naruto days as well. Specifically, this reminds me of, the Hidden Mist Village, with how Madara manipulated the 4th Mizukage. But I think it's not exactly the very same thing. In a way, I feel like Amado is going to go more along the lines of Itachi Uchiha. Now, this is obviously going to sound a lot controversial, but I really feel like Amado is going to be the secret anti-hero of the Boruto franchise. Yeah, he is in a way going to become the anti-hero of the Boruto franchise. Why? Well, as I discussed in my previous video, I feel like Amado is an alien. He might not be a cyborg, as I had discussed a year ago, but I still believe that he is a different alien species. He's not an Otsutsuki. He's not a human. He's another alien species who was manipulated and destroyed by the Otsutsuki clan. So far, we have already known that the Otsutsuki clan's modus operandi is just hopping from planet to planet, devouring the chakra of that planet, creating the chakra fruit, and just, moving on with their life, moving on to another dimension. So what if Amado is the last surviving member of such a clan, such a species whose planet was absolutely destroyed by the Otsutsuki clan? And here, Amado is basically seeking for his revenge. Amado is not the actual villain here. He's not seeking to destroy the planet Earth, but rather he's manipulating the resources of planet Earth. He's manipulating the people of planet Earth, specifically here Konoha, and it also makes sense because he has gone to the most strongest people who are currently inhabiting the place. He has gone to take the help of Naruto and Sasuke and the others at the Konoha village because he knows that alone he is powerless. He was not able to save his own village, but together with the help of the planet Earth and his own clever shenanigans and clever manipulation techniques, he is able to create an army of his own. He is able to create a force to reckon with, a force which is going to get his revenge against the Otsutsuki clan and whatever they did. And this is the major reason why he is essentially grooming Kawaki here to make him the next Ishiki Otsutsuki, to make him the Ishiki Otsutsuki 2.0, as it is said by Code himself in this particular chapter. I feel like this is going to be the actual tangent on which Boruto is going to move forward with. And the same can be said for other characters like Daemon and Ada as well. I saw somewhere on Twitter that a person was comparing how Ada's eyes and even in fact Daemon's eyes might be a reference to the two destroyed Otsutsuki clan, burial ground markings that we saw back in Boruto chapter 35 when Sasuke went into the Otsutsuki dimension. It's still a plot point which has not been talked about or touched about for a very long time, but it is possible that he is basically building people up here. The same might go for Kashin Koji. I mean, Koji doesn't really have the karma mark. He doesn't really have any special Otsutsuki killing powers here, but he is very strong. He is definitely strong, and the reason is that he was Amado was using the base of Jiraiya here. Yet another strong, very strong character. So it's all his grand plan of taking his revenge upon the Otsutsuki clan in a way similar to Itachi. Amado has very dubious motives. Amado has very shady motives. He won't stop until he won't stop his wrongdoings until he has achieved his final goal. He's not a goody two shoe. He's not a goody protagonist here, but he's just going to utilize whatever he has in his arsenal to take down the Otsutsuki once and for all. This is my assumption at this point. Yeah, so let's read some of the comments. Varun says, Pro Boruto is just going down the line since last year. It's not just going forward. Totally disappointed with the Boruto manga as of now. Where the hell is Sasuke? Where the hell is Kashin Koji? And where the hell is Mitsuki? It's going to revolve around Boruto. Absolutely correct point. That is an absolutely correct point. And towards the later half of this video, I'm going to talk about one major problem which I have with the manga currently in regards to Naruto. Because there's a lot going on here. And it's not just limited to Naruto's nerf, which he got after Kurama's death. I still feel like Naruto is one of the most strongest characters in the entire world, but there's problems with how his character is being handled here in the Boruto manga, in the Boruto series as a whole. The actions which he's taking, the way in which he's fumbling here, it's just disgusting to watch at times. And I'm going to explain that very soon, so just hold on for that. Organic Dinosaur is saying that there will only be 10 more chapters before the final one. The end is near. The 10 more chapters before the final one? You mean before the time skip? I hope so. But genuinely speaking, around the time of chapter 60, I believe that the time skip is going to begin at around chapter 70. I don't know, maybe I still feel like chapter 70 would be a good enough starting point for the beginning moment of the Boruto time skip. It's possible. But yeah, that's the problem. I agree with Suryansh and Varun. The issue with the Boruto series, barring even Naruto's nerf, barring Sasuke and the others, is that the side characters are just relegated to a downward spiral. The side characters don't even seem important in the grand scheme of things. It's just a show about Boruto, Kawaki, a little bit of Naruto, and now Code. Just that's it. Nothing more. I honestly don't care about Ada that much. I hate the character design of Daemon. I don't care about this bratty little kid. But you know what? The issue again arises with the anime as well. They are trying to build up this world with the side characters as well, wherein the side characters are actually getting the focus. But honestly, it's just not in an overall good manner. It doesn't seem organic at all, specifically when the manga is just not even touching upon them. And seeing things like that, when we get anime episodes dedicated to Denki and the others, it just feels inconsequential that, okay, in the manga, see, Boruto is just getting killed here. And in the anime, hey, we are getting episodes dedicated to Denki and his robots. That's kind of lame at this moment. And it's just these episodes feel very tokenish that, hey readers, we are giving you an episode dedicated to Denki. We are giving you an episode dedicated to Sarada. We are giving you an episode dedicated to Mitsuki. So you just can't complain here. We are giving you what you want. Why the hell are you complaining that it's just a Boruto show? Sorry, that's not how a story is supposed to work. This is not a Sunday cartoon. This is not a Sunday show wherein every episode is going to be different from the other. It's a linear progression. It's a story which is going or moving forward every single episode, and every single episode, every single chapter has to be cohesive. At least the manga is cohesive, even though it is not doing a lot of world building. The anime tries to do world building, but it's just so aloof and so in a singular point that it doesn't really feel cohesive. There are episodes in the Boruto anime wherein it feels like this is a totally different world, like aside from all the problems that we are facing currently. It just doesn't even feel the right amount of tempo. The, what should I say, gravity of the situation is really lost in a lot of these episodes. I understand that the anime is like wanting to correct out the flaws of the manga. A lot of us want to see more action or more stories from Sarada, from Mitsuki, from Orochimaru. Where the hell is that guy? But the anime is not doing that correctly in a way. It's in a way just doing it as a token character that, hey, we are giving you this episode. We are giving you an episode dedicated to this character. So why are you even complaining? That's not really how a show or a cohesive narrative is supposed to be built here. But moving forward, let's proceed with the next part of the chapter. Here, Ada is assessing this entire situation, specifically in regards to Kawaki's new karma mark, and she realizes that this is not technically a new karma mark, but rather this is something which Amado has, decided for Kawaki in himself. Code is initially very taken aback. He's like, how the hell does he have the karma mark once again? But Ada is like, I guess Kawaki didn't have a choice. Looks like Amado never intended to let Kawaki decide whether he wanted the karma back or not. He was already finished reconstructing it even before Kawaki had a say in this particular regard. And Kawaki just fell right into the trap of Amado here, wherein he thought that he was getting a choice here, but that's not actually the case. The choices were already pre-planned by Amado, and Kawaki just fell right inside this trap. And Ada even goes on to say that Amado knew that Kawaki would hunger for more power. He would be hungry for more power, and that's why he probably restored the karma when he replaced Kawaki's right hand as well. All that was left was to motivate him. All that was left was to motivate him in order to do or just go forth with it. And Code reiterates this point by saying that, which means he used to be the final push to awaken Kawaki's power. Yeah. This is an overall messed up situation. This is definitely a messed up situation. Shigemaru is very inconsequential here in this chapter, honestly. While he is being a hostage, he is able to hear some of the murmur that Code is doing or some of the talks that he is having with Ada, but he is not at such a close distance that he is able to, understand or eavesdrop as to what Code and Ada are actually talking about. Amado is trying to listen. He's trying to decipher what is going on. He's talking with someone. He has an ally or somewhat. So that's fine and all. We already know how, intuitive and basically cunning Shikamaru really is, and that is a testament to this particular scene right here. I'm glad that the manga didn't really just outright went out of the way and just killed Shikamaru out of no build-up whatsoever. Some people last month were saying that this month Shikamaru's death is apparent, but that would have just made no sense whatsoever. The manga rushes things, but even then there is no build-up for it whatsoever. But moving forward, Kawaki is looking at his new karma, his weaponized new karma. This is what I could say Amado's version of the white karma. This is practically the same thing. This is obviously not in the white color. This is in the black color. But what Amado has really done here is that he has utilized or taken into account the karma which Ishiko Otsutsuki gave him initially, and he has reconstructed it in a way, remolded it in a way so that Kawaki can utilize the weaponries of the karma here at this moment. It's not just the brute strength of the karma, it's not just the absorption abilities of the karma, but here even the Daikokuten and the Sukuna Hikona, the main two dojutsus of Ishiko Tsutsuki, are also being utilized by Kawaki here. Now, what is interesting to note here is the proper usage of Kawaki's eyes. There are moments when we see he has, three pupils or three triangular entities in his eyes, and there are moments where we can see two entities in his eyes. You could say that this is a part of him using the Sukuna Hikona or the Daikokuten, because whenever he's using that skin sound effect, whenever that sound effect appears, Kawaki is able to use Ishikyo Tsutsuki's black rods. He's able to utilize or bring forward elements from Ishiko Tsutsuki's dimensions, and that is very nicely portrayed in this particular chapter as well. Kawaki is not just using, by the way, Kawaki is just not using Ishiko Tsutsuki's moves, but rather he's improvising his own moves as well. Although Naruto is taken aback by all of these things, he's like, that jutsu is the trademark of Ishikyo Tsutsuki. But no, this has been, in a way, passed down to Kawaki now. This, whatever you want to call this new form, this is the Kawashiki or Ishikawa, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this form is quite powerful enough. He's able to sideline Borushiki in a way, and he's also bringing forth the claws which his right arms are, known for. He's just bringing out these claws seemingly from Ishiki's dimension. It's going to be interesting to note how the link is actually created, how these things are stored, or whether these are just Sukuna Hikona, which just, shrinks or enlarges things in a way. But nevertheless, the powers and the hacks abilities of Ishiko Tsutsuki are really, really OP and stupid. So this is not unexpected in any way sort of form. And just after all of this actually happens, we get to see, Kawaki bring out those cubes, those huge, humongous cubes. Boruto is almost pinned down by all of these things, and Naruto is yet again just awestruck. And this entire interaction is something which I really do not like. The way in which Naruto is reacting to all of these things, it's problematic. I understand from the point of view of Naruto that his adopted son is just becoming the next Ishiko Tsutsuki, but hey, Naruto is the Hokage. You have to remember that. But nevertheless, I'm going to talk about Naruto really soon. For now, let's just focus upon Kawaki or Kawashiki. And Code also gives us a basic rundown of his powers, wherein Code is saying that Daikokuten, which lets the user retrieve things from another dimension, the another dimension being obviously Ishiko Tsutsuki, and even Sukuna Hikona, which shrinks various objects. Is Amado trying to make Kawaki into a second Ishiki? Yeah, that is 100% true, because in the end, Amado's true beliefs would be a revolt against the Otsutsuki clan in order to take his actual revenge upon the clan which destroyed his potential world. That might be the very case, which is what is happening here. So anyway, let's read some of the chats here. Suryan says that if manga doesn't care for side characters, how far can even anime go to make them relevant? Anime can expand upon but can't change the story. That is true, but a lot of the statements given by the series directors and people in the back is that the anime is 100% canon apparently. I understand what anime canon refers to. I've in fact made videos upon it, but you can't just go on to say that every single thing is actually canon just to avoid the overusage of fillers. So it's a very narrow rope to walk upon, and it's not really a very good conclusion or a very good way to move around this actual story. Swam says, bro, how will Sada wake Mangekyo Sharingan? That is something which I have not actually thought about right now after Sasuke lost his Rinnegan. So I will perhaps talk about it sometime later on. Bro, the power hunger started from now on. Yeah, yeah, Kawaki's hunger phase begins. Maybe while shaving someone or in reporting. Perhaps. Prohavitsa, the Mangekyo, I mean, shaving. I think that the Jogan is just anime canon. I don't really think that the Jogan is going to remain the just an anime canon. But next chapter is going to be the do or die moment for Jogan for sure. It's either going to be next chapter or it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna talk about the Jogan pretty soon, so just let me finish, reading the overall pages of the manga, and then we will discuss all of these things in details. Is Jogan anime only? For now, it is anime only, but there's a pretty big chance that it's gonna come to the manga pretty soon. So, here, after Kawaki has absolutely created mayhem on the battlefield, he has decimated the battlefield. Kawaki's like, I see, I'm starting to understand this power. But Naruto is just, as usual, taken aback by all of these things. It honestly feels as if Naruto's Hokage position, it's just a title at this moment. There's no gravity, there's no actual gravity to his title. People are just throwing around the name of Naruto like anything. Back in the day, do you think that would have happened to Hashirama? That would have happened to Hiruzen? That would have happened to Minato? No, that's not something that's gonna happen. Right now, Naruto's status is just it feels weird. It's really feeling weird to see how Naruto is reacting to all of these things. I understand the plot point or the notion that, hey, Naruto is not like his predecessors. He's not just a cold-hearted killing machine. But at the same time, you have to understand that this is not a naive Naruto. This is not a 16-year-old, 17-year-old Naruto. This is a veteran Naruto. He's an adult. He has been here. He has been a Hokage for some time now. And he understands what is at stake, what are the risks here. He can't get emotional every single time just because he is Naruto, just because he used to be the ex-protagonist of the series. He doesn't have the liability, he doesn't have the, what should I say? He doesn't have the, I'm grasping for that word here. He doesn't have the chance to let moments like this slip. To let moments like this slip, actually, it's not in the correct sense. He can't just be emotional every single moment that, hey Kawaki, why are you doing this? Hey Boruto, why are you doing this? He has to take stern actions every single time, or every now and then. Along with all of these things, Naruto is not weak. Naruto is not weak. We have to understand that even without Kurama, he has access to Sage Mode. He is the incarnation of Ashura Otsutsuki. There's so much stuff going on for Naruto even today, even after the lack of Kurama. So I do not really understand this notion of why every single other character is just jumping into the frame in order to quote unquote save Naruto. Shikamaru is jumping into the line to save Naruto. Sasuke is saving Naruto or trying to save Naruto. Sakura is jumping in and running to save Naruto. Boruto is jumping in to try to save Naruto. Kawaki is jumping in order to try to save Naruto. Every single character, it's like their duty to just save Naruto. I mean, I understand for Shikamaru, he is the assistant to the Hokage. He has to, try to be there for Naruto every single time. That's understandable. That's quite understandable. The same goes for Sasuke as well. Even though I'm not really a fan of the way in which Sasuke is actually handled here, I really like his character, what he's doing, but his overall dynamic into the story in regards to a Shadow Kage, it's not something which I really appreciate that much. The term Shadow Kage in itself is very oxymoron for him, because Kage actually means shadow. So if you are saying Shadow Kage, that means Kage. But nevertheless, in order to understand this, you have to basically think in a way that Naruto is even stronger than Hashirama. Naruto is stronger than all the other previous Hokages. But the way in which he's actually handled here, it's like he's just a bumbling fool. He's just a 10-year-old. Boruto is just kicking him in the stomach. Kawaki is kicking him. Ishigo Tsutsuki was manhandling him. Every single person was just manhandling Naruto here, and every single time Naruto is just surprised by all of these things. He's not even decisive. He has to save the village, goddammit. That's the objective of the Hokage. That's the basic deal of the Hokage. He has to be the strongest person to save the Hokage, or to save Konoha, to save the village. And no, he doesn't need to die in order to do that. I mean, sure, Minato and all the others have laid down their life in order to save the village, but here you have to understand that these Otsutsuki characters are not just going to stop right now. He has to understand that. And he shouldn't really fight to die here at this moment. He has to fight to save the village and to save himself. The village needs him. The village needs powerhouses like Naruto and Sasuke. It's just not going to be one battle and done. He has to save himself and he has to save the village as well. And in order to do something like that, specifically with Naruto's level of expertise in not just ninjutsu but the war experience, the experience from fight that he actually has, with that in hindsight, for all this time, he should have raised up, a special unit directly under him, which specializes in senjutsu. That is one of my biggest gripes with the series, that why was a senjutsu squad not utilized in the series. In the last movie, we saw how Lee was leading a group of people, a group of, Konoha ninja who was specifically dealing with taijutsu. Even though we have not seen that in the Boruto era anytime, like after that, after the last movie, we have never seen that happen. But it's just, at least in canon, it's canon that, okay, Konoha once upon a time, like specifically when Naruto was adult, developed a division dedicated to the taijutsu, to the gate users, 8 gate users. That is 100% something which the village should do. The same goes for Naruto. He is an expert in sage mode. He's an expert in senjutsu at this moment. And specifically after seeing what happened with Obito, and now seeing whatever has happened with Momoshiki, Shikio Tsutsuki and all the others, he should have ideally created a division of ninja who are trying to specialize into the senjutsu arts. That would have really helped in the protection of the village. Naruto's outlook of I will die to save this village is wrong, because the village needs strong people. Village needs Sasuke, village needs Naruto, village needs Kakashi and all these other characters. If Naruto is just gonna die every single time, or jump into a battle thinking that, okay, I'm going to die in this battle, that's just a wrong outlook. You have to save yourself and save the village in the same process. But a lot with the rant about how Naruto's character is being written here. Let's proceed forward here, because he's like, what's going on here? Those abilities. More importantly, why are you exactly doing all of these things? Naruto is just stunned by the actions of Kawaki here. But Kawaki goes on to say that, shouldn't you be focusing on staying still, Lord 7th? Not that I care what happens to him. And this is the moment when we realize once again that Shigemaru is in the clutch of Code, because if Naruto moved even a single bit, Code will kill Shigemaru, and everyone just forgot that conveniently enough, and we see that Code starts hurting Shigemaru. We see a little bit of blood from his neck, but nevertheless, that is not his main concern, or not the main concern for anyone at this moment. The story just brushes away that fact, and Naruto is yet again in a sage mode, really concerned that, Kawaki, how far are you planning to go? Now, this is a major callback, major callback to the time skip days, when Kawaki was also said this very same line, or a similar line along these words, by none other than Teen Boruto. How far are you willing to go, Kawaki? Now, this gives us a pretty clear idea about what went wrong with Kawaki. I've made a couple of videos in this particular regard, and I feel like my theories are going to be quite correct here. In the past, I've decided or described how Kawaki's absolute obsession for Naruto is actually going to be the cause for his downfall. It's possible that the entire world, or specifically the other villages, are going to, uh, you know, blame Naruto for all the things which are currently happening, for Boruto, for the Boruto situation, for Kawaki situation, for how the Otsutsukis are being handled. This is something which just enrages Kawaki, and he's like, why are you even doing something like that? He just enraged, gets angry on the other villages, and maybe tries to attack the other villages, because his obsession with Naruto is just taking a different form here at this moment. And owing to all of these things, a lot of stuff just basically goes south. A lot of the stuff just goes insanely wrong. And in the end, there's just no other option for Kawaki. He's like, if I need to save the Lord Seventh, I will have to save him by any means whatsoever. And the last measure is to save him by sealing him in another dimension. Now, at this moment, Kawaki actually has the access to the Karma powers. He has the powers of Daikokuten, he has the powers of Sukuna Hikona, and therefore, it is my 100% belief that Naruto is going to be sealed by Kawaki into a separate dimension using the powers of Ishiki Otsutsuki's Daijutsu. And this is also going to be really interesting because of the words which are said by Boruto in the first half, or in the starting of the time skip, wherein Boruto exclaims after Kawaki says that the world of Shinobi, the age of Shinobi is actually over. He says that the age of Shinobi is not over. Well, why is the age of Shinobi not over? Or why Kawaki thinks that the age of Shinobi is over? Well, initially in the beginning, Kawaki was also optimistic. He also wanted to resolve all of these issues. The issue of the Otsutsuki clan, the issue of humans, the issue of ninja, and a lot of the political conflicts which are about to start, or which started after the confrontation between Boruto and Kawaki. But just using his ninjutsu powers, just using his way of the ninja, his nindo, he was not able to save the Hokage. He was not able to calm down these troubles. That's when his belief in the ninjutsu world, the age of Shinobi, started to dwindle, and that's how he fell from his grace. Otherwise, there's no logical explanation for Kawaki going south like this. But here, as you can see in this chapter, Kawaki literally goes on to say that I'll do what needs to be done for you. That for you is the most important point here, because it essentially tells us right at the face that Kawaki is gonna do something stupid because his obsession for Naruto is going to turn things south. But while all of this is happening, Boruto, or rather Borushiki, just jumps out from the clouds using a Rasengan. But hey, that Rasengan is not going to be important, or not going to be effective whatsoever because of the karma. But seemingly enough, the Rasengan just vanishes, and at the same time, Kawaki uses a form of, I don't know, this is not really named here, but it seems like a katon, like any kind of a fireball jutsu or fire jutsu, fire release jutsu, but it is quickly countered by Boruto's karma mark. Now, the next couple of panels, it's not something which I need to describe here, because these are these are plainly action oriented. We see Kawaki utilizing his arms, his modified arms. He's using Daikokuten, he's using Sukuna Hikona. Boruto is also retaliating and utilizing various different shurikens and whatnot in order to fight back with Kawaki. But Kawaki soon gains the upper hand because he's using the Daikokuten to use or throw around his right modified arms. And these are just crunching and clenching all of these things. But in a very classic callback, in page number 21, at the last panel, we get the moment of Kawaki's right modified arm getting enlarged, and Boruto using the Rasengan, which is just a parallel to the final, confrontation in the Naruto days. The Valley of the End. The Onyx Chidori versus the QB Chakra Rasengan of Naruto. That is a very literal callback, and this is amazing. But before proceeding further, let's just read some of the comments here in the chat. I guess of finally understanding what caused the rift, which leads to the flashback. I didn't read the manga yet. It is stream spoiler free. No, Aradhya. This stream is not spoiler free. This is a discussion of manga chapter 66. As you can see here, this is a discussion of manga chapter 66. This is gonna contain major spoilers. He doesn't care about what other people think. Dragon Ball Radiant says yes, 100%. At this moment, Kawaki doesn't care about what other people are thinking. Kawaki's only point of motivation, Kawaki's only concern is the Lord Seventh. It's only Naruto. And in order to save him, in order to quote unquote save him from whatever thing basically happens, whatever next threat that even happens, he's just going to do whatever needs to be done, even if it's to the extreme core. In fact, as I said in that video, I think that this is not the end of the Otsutsuki clan. There's going to be more Otsutsuki characters which are going to come during these shenanigans, and in order to save Naruto so that he doesn't, sacrifice his life for the Konoha and the entire world in general, he's going to save or seal Naruto into a separate dimension altogether, so that the chakra fruit, even if it is harvested, it doesn't affect Naruto. Because you have to remember the point of the chakra fruit as well. I think that is also pretty important. I really feel like Amado is going to manipulate Kawaki into bringing up the chakra fruit as well, so that he has ample power to actually take on the Otsutsuki clan once and for all, and that is his modus operandi to take his revenge upon the Otsutsuki clan. The volume is ending and the chapter in the next chapter, do you think time skip will happen? No, I don't think the next chapter should be the ideal point of time skip. But as I've said in the past, I feel like chapter 70 should be a good starting point for the time skip. I don't think it's going to happen in chapter 70, but it would be a prelude, a starting point for their time skip. Code or somebody else is going to make him an offer. Kawaki is going to get exile. No, Kawaki going to get exile, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Code is going to play something or the other. I wonder if Sasuke is going to become Boruto's vessel. That is in fact a very interesting point. I have not really thought if Sasuke is going to become the vessel of Naruto. Oh, I'm sorry, the vessel of Boruto. I don't really think Sasuke will become the vessel for Boruto, but it's a very interesting point nonetheless. A couple of chapters back, when Kawaki and Boruto were sitting on top of the Hokage rock, when Boruto was thinking about this entire situation, Kawaki actually gave Boruto the idea, when they were even talking about how he's going to kill him if the things get dark, if things get out of control. At that moment, in fact, Kawaki gave Boruto the idea that why don't you create a vessel of your own in order to maximize your chance of survival. And Boruto was very perplexed by that, and he's like, no, that's not something which I should do. That's totally wrong. How can I take the life of someone else like that just for my own sake? But from that moment, we just directly cut. We we never really got the resolution to that particular plot point. And if I'm reading manga correctly, if I'm reading stories correctly, if a point like that is actually introduced, it would be a Chekhov's gun fallacy if that is not, expanded upon in the story so far. If a point like that is actually introduced, it has to be implemented, it has to be correctly implemented for it to even make sense. That is the basic rule of the Chekhov's gun. If something is loaded, it has to fire. So I do believe that there is something missing in those panels, something which we do not know as of yet. It's possible Boruto somehow or the other marked someone as his vessel. If that is Sasuke, I don't know. I honestly don't believe that it would be Sasuke. It's gonna be really dark if that's actually Sasuke. I mean, realistically speaking, it's not out of the line. It's not out of possibilities realm that Sasuke is going to try to sacrifice his own life for the sake of Boruto, because in at the end of the day, Boruto's um, Nindo is to become a shinobi like Sasuke. So it would be a poetic um, irony, I'd say. It would be a poetic irony if in the end Boruto is the reason because of which Sasuke is killed. It's been a very prevalent theory in the series, in the Boruto series for a very long time, that Boruto is the reason why Sasuke is dead. That is a very prevalent and a very old theory, but no one really has thought no one really has thought how Sasuke is actually going to die. It's a common assumption that Sasuke dies in the time skip, wherein Borushiki just goes out of control, maybe in a manner similar to the QB, but it would make for a really interesting story point if, in fact, it turns out that Sasuke is actually the vessel for Boruto. I mean, physically it doesn't really seem that plausible, especially in the time skip as we have seen so far. It doesn't really seem that Boruto has taken in the body of Sasuke. But at the same time, what if okay, let me properly phrase this thing, because it just, as I'm speaking, this really came to me. What if Sasuke was actually the vessel for Momoshiki, not Boruto? Still, as of yet, we do not know the full truth about the karma mark. There's still many elements of the karma that we do not know about. There's elements which Amado is not aware of, or Amado is hiding off. That's possible. So what if Boruto actually thought that it's going to be his revival which is going to be ensured as a vessel if he leaves a karma mark? But in fact, it turns out that it's not that. In fact, it seems like it's going to be Momoshiki's vessel. Like, what if it's all being Momoshiki's grand plan, wherein Sasuke turns out to be a vessel for Momoshiki and not Boruto himself? And instead, how Boruto is going to be revived would be involving the Jogan or Toneri Otsutsuki. That would be a really dark and huge twist as to how Sasuke wanted to help Boruto, as to how Sasuke wanted to fulfill the wishes of his best friend's son. And that was his good intention as well, that I don't want Boruto to die here at this moment. I might say that I will be the one who's going to kill him, but at the same time, I'm willing to sacrifice my own life for the sake of Boruto. What if all of these goody two-shoes moments happen and Sasuke somehow or the other tricked Boruto in order to give him his karma mark? That's why potentially he's absent in this chapter. But turns out it's not a means for Boruto's revival, but instead, in a very cruel twist of turns, it turns out that it is actually Momoshiki's retrieval, Momoshiki's revival. It would be totally along the lines of the time when Momoshiki cursed Boruto and he told that he's going to lose everything, everyone he loves, and in a cruel twist of fate, Boruto will be the one responsible to kill his teacher, because he thought, or everyone else thought, that Boruto's survival rate is going to be increased if Sasuke had the karma mark. But it turns out, in a really cruel turn of events, that Momoshiki was the person who was manipulating these things, and Momoshiki ensured his revival in the form of Sasuke as a vessel. That is also going to trigger into Sada's parts as well, and how she is going to be devastated by the death of her father. It's eventually going to reveal the, reveal of, or lead to the reveal of the Mangekyo Sharingan of Sada Uchiha as well. So I feel like that would be a very interesting turn of events. And how Boruto is going to be revived, well, that is something which we need to talk about, and I feel like it has a lot to do with the Jogan. So we're gonna talk about the Jogan soon. But nevertheless, here, these next couple of panels, Boruto is just getting beaten down one by one by Kawaki. And at one particular moment, it seems almost like the game is over for Boruto, wherein his left eye is slowly starting to open. It's just very slowly starting to open, and he's about to be crushed by that huge cube. But at that very moment, Naruto just jumps into the way and saves his son. Yeah, that moment just happened. That moment has really happened, and Code is like, okay, the Hokage made his move, but forget it. There's no point in killing you right now. Let's just wait and see what happens. And there's just a huge dust. There's just a huge cloud of dust which is just swirling around, and Boruto has been saved by Naruto here. Naruto is just looking onto Kawaki in disgust. He's like, what are you doing, Kawaki? This is enough. Are you really planning to kill him? And Kawaki just looks at disgust here at this point. He's like, I told you I'm going to do whatever needs to be done. It's a do or die situation. But Naruto is like, don't be ridiculous. He is my son. And Kawaki says that, yes, but at the same time, he's a demon who's targeting for your life. So I'm not gonna spare him. You're the one who needs to face the reality. There is no other way. And that is actually a good point here. Even though Kawaki has his own crazy manners, his own crazy demeanors, but Naruto is just not facing the reality at this moment. He's still in his schoolboy phase of 16 years old. It's sad, definitely it's sad that his son is getting the short end of the stick at this moment, but he is the Hokage, goddammit. He has to bring up his act here. But nevertheless, Boruto wakes up, his left eye is open here, and he just shoves Naruto out of the harm's way. He just shakes him apart and just pushes him away. And Momoshiki, the other side of Momoshiki, is like, oh, he's woken up already. He's just woken up already. And Naruto is still concerned with all of these things. He's like, are you back with us, Boruto? Are you back with us? And Boruto's like, not Boruto, but rather Momoshiki is like, damn rat, you should stay asleep for your own good. You stay asleep, you stop interfering, whatever. And now here the big reveal happens. Boruto's other side says that Amado's med seems to work fine. I was able to control Momoshiki's power to some extent, but it's only a temporary measure. It's far from a solution. I mean, look at just what happened. These are some really awful side effects. I came this close to killing my own dad. Everyone is taken aback by these lines, but Kawaki is like, Boruto, do you remember what I said to you once? It's referring to the moment on top of the Hokage rock. Obviously, it's a moment which everyone is going to remember. And Boruto is like, yeah, I definitely remember that. And today, I've come to realize that what we have to do it as a last resort. And Kawaki is like, yeah, that's really unfortunate. And Boruto says to Naruto that, I'm sorry, Dad. Give my best regards to Mom and Hima. But of course, Naruto is just taken aback. Yet again, he's just taken aback by all of these things. He's like, what are you planning to do, Boruto? Don't do anything rash. But just then, Boruto just swipes Naruto away with the help of the Gale Palm. And at the very last moment, he's like, do it, bro. Do it. Do it before Momoshiki is at bay. Do it before Momoshiki takes over my body once and for all. Do it once and for all. Just end me. Now, these last 2 pages, these are really beautifully drawn. Like last 4 pages, in fact. This is it. This is Boruto's death. Kawaki just stabs Boruto right through the chest, and his prosthetic, his artificial arm just makes those claws, those huge claws once again, and Naruto is just horrified. Now, I saw some people reacting on Twitter that Why is Naruto not crying? Why is Naruto acting like this? Now here, it's an act of shock. He is going to cry. He is obviously going to cry at the death of his own son, but at this moment, it's just the reaction of shock that his adoptive son has killed his own son, his biological son. Everyone is stunned at it. Shikamaru is just not able to process all of these things. Even Ada is just stunned by all of these things, and Boruto's face, it's just sad. And in the end, Boruto just lays there motionless, and Naruto just screams at the top of his voice, Boruto. To be continued. That's the end of Boruto manga chapter 66. Alright, I need a break. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Let me have some water, and then we are going to discuss a lot of the things which are a part of this chapter. So welcome to the people who joined the stream midway. Thank you so much for joining in. This was so far what I did was the read through of this entire manga chapter, and now here we are going to go over whatever is basically happening in this particular chapter. So while I take a 2-minute break, just give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you want to support the channel in any way or form, a channel membership would be really appreciated. Any kind of a super chat or super sticker would also be really appreciated. But just hang tight for a little bit. Alright, so I'm back. Let's read some of the chat, and then we shall proceed with the discussion for this video. RRR.exe says, what if Boruto is unknown to giving a karma to Sasuke? Yeah, as I talked about this, it would be a really interesting choice for Boruto to actually give his karma to Sasuke. That's gonna be a really interesting thing to watch. This is going to be a tough cliffhanger to sit for a month. Yeah, that's true, 100%. Just for them to pull the rug off from under us and move on to something probably else, something totally else probably. Yeah, that's the true thing. Dragon Ball Radiant, it seems a lot of the time that the manga is just not giving ample time to process a lot of these things. It's just like, okay, we need to go, or we need to proceed forward with this XYZ plot point. Just that's it. It doesn't really feel consequential beyond a couple of chapters. Like, okay, Kurama died. next chapter, done. It's done and dusted. There's no actual consequence to a lot of the things which are happening here in the manga. I might be a little too critical of these things, specifically because this is a monthly manga, but there's no breathing room. There's not enough breathing room at times. And whenever the manga tries to do something new, it's a lot of the times just delegated to, slice of life stuff. That's unfortunate, but that is actually the truth here. Naruto is going to break when he gets back to the village. Yeah, that is true. Why give Naruto a better sage mode for him not to do anything? That's true. That's true. He's just that's a major problem which I discussed a couple of minutes back. Aditya, welcome to the stream. 30 volumes to be made, said Ikemoto. I honestly do not believe in any of the claims made by these people here at this moment. If he says 30 volumes, whether he says 20 volumes, prior to the last couple of years, like a couple of years before, I believe whatever these writers and people just said in the background. But now after reading One Piece and a lot of the other stuff, I just don't believe whatever they're saying, specifically after the Shonen Jump and Jump Fiesta newses and whatnot, because that's just a tentative timeline. They never really are that correct with these assumptions or whatnot. So I really doubt about these things. Dragon Ball Radiant says maybe there's some type of shadow clone shenanigans going on there. That would be really cheap, I 100% believe that Boruto is actually dead here at this moment in the end of this chapter. I mean, he's not going to remain dead for the entirety of the series, that's for sure, but at least for now, he is definitely dead. If this is a shadow clone shenanigan, that would be a really cheap cliffhanger. That would be really a bad way to deal with the things, in my opinion. Do you think Shigemaru will die? Realistically speaking, I don't think his death would even matter that much, specifically because the manga has not built up to the scene at all. Like, there's no build up to Shikamaru's death whatsoever. If that happens, it would be very random, very bad, and it would honestly be a mistake. In my opinion, Kawaki will be sort of rejected by Naruto because he doesn't like the ways of getting rid of Naruto's problems. Yeah. That is a good assumption from you. It's basically along the lines of Kawaki's excessive obsession for Naruto, which is going to cross some of the limits, and it's something which is going to create the main problems. But at the same time, I don't think that this is just going to be one singular issue. My opinion here is that there's going to be 2-3 different avenues of problems which are going to pop up at the very same time. I believe a different entity, a different set of Otsutsukis might appear. At the same time, the chakra fruit shenanigans are also be coming up at this moment, like pretty much in the time skip. And in order to save his beloved mentor, in order to save the Lord Seventh, he's just going to pop Naruto into a separate dimension and just seal him there. He would be like, okay, done and dusted. I'm going to get back to all of these things later on. Naruto might do a life transfer jutsu to bring back Boruto. I don't think that. I mean, that's not a wrong assumption. You could say that this is the incident which happens or triggers the time skip, that Naruto gives up his own life in order to bring back Boruto by using some Fuinjutsu, by using some Uzumaki clan jutsu. And that's the reason why Kawaki just goes on a rampage that I tried to save the Lord Seventh, but see what happened because of you, because you didn't, or because everyone else just hanged on or just held on to their ways of the ninja, and that's why I'm going to destroy the shinobi world. That's not a wrong assumption here, but it would be too outlandish at this moment. But regardless, I might do a video upon that. I need to think a little bit about it. I just can't randomly say it at this moment. It would be too inconsequential for me to just say that okay, Naruto will just utilize some hidden, or just some, you know, what should I say, banned Uzumaki clan jutsu, which is going to transfer his life force onto Boruto somehow. But that doesn't really solve the problem of Boruto's curse with Momoshiki. If at all Boruto revives, he's still going to be fused with Momoshiki, unless there's something more, and that is none other than the Jogan. So stay tuned. We're gonna talk about Jogan as well. If Naruto moved, Shikamaru would Shika die. Yeah. Why the hell is the Jogan barely mentioned or shown in the manga? Tonri said that. Yeah, Aditya. We're gonna talk about the Jogan as well pretty soon, like just a bit. Strange how people thought Kawaki's next Naruto. As you can see, they're fusing characters. Kawaki as Naruto's sad backstory and Sasuke's ways of thinking. Yeah, correct. He's, you could say, a more extreme version of Naruto. He is like Menma from the alternate, what was it, from the movies, in the world of the in the Genjutsu world, where everyone's personalities is flipped in a way. You could say that's the case. um, Anybody dying in the next chapter won't make sense, because how the chapter just move away from the third party and now focuses on Boruto now. 100%, there's no build up for anyone else's death. Boruto's death was built up for a very long time. I in fact talked about a scenario like this last year in my Boruto iceberg video. Wait, let me just open up that video real quick. Wait, let me just close this once. Or I don't think it should be needed to close. Iceberg. Yeah, this was my video, and I don't know if I will be able to find it here or not, but I did discuss it here on level number 3 or something. I think here. Wait, let the ad be over. Yeah, so somewhere here I mentioned how Boruto's death can actually happen in this particular series. It's going to lead into the scenario of Momoshiki, and how we are going to actually get rid of Momoshiki from Boruto's body. And I gave a reasoning here that it seems like Boruto's death would be a necessary part to deal with the entire Momoshiki situation and just get rid of him. So this is about a 24-minute video, so just go and watch it if you want. I've gone over some more interesting ideas and topics as well here. The alien cyborg topic, this all of these things I've discussed them in detail, so you can just go over them. Okay, a chat which I missed. How can Sasuke be eligible for karma? Okay, so this is interesting, because like we know not everyone is eligible for the karma mark, but we have to remember here that both Naruto and Sasuke ideally should be eligible for, in order to get the karma, because essentially in a way they are the reincarnations of Ashura and Indra Otsutsukis. At the same time, they were blessed by the Sage of Six Paths, who himself in turn was half an Otsutsuki. So I don't think that, if at all, a plot line like Sasuke being the vessel for Boruto is raised, I don't think that there should be any problems to it whatsoever. Do you think the new generation is going to get stronger after this chapter? I mean, that is pretty much a shonen thing. That is pretty much a shonen staple, that they have to get stronger, because now with everything that is in hindsight right now. So I do believe that's actually the case, but who knows? Let's see what happens eventually. What else? Bro, there isn't any Sasuke in recent chapters. Damn it, where is Sasuke? Boruto died. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Where is Sasuke? Where is Orochimaru? I mean, I haven't seen that guy in ages, literally ages. One of the major, you could say, failures of Naruto here at this moment is to not utilize the expertise of Orochimaru. Like, yeah, that's one of the major things. I think Sasuke will find Ida and kind of fight Demon and Ida. Honestly, I don't want for something like that to happen, because I I really in a way hate the character design of Demon. Just my personal opinion here, I just don't like it that much. Boruto is so much unpredictable in recent chapters. Can't say though what's going to happen. True, it is a bit unpredictable, but for the characters like Amado, I think we are pretty much getting a clearer idea every single chapter that what exactly is his true motivations. Same goes for characters like Kawaki as well. I wonder why Shikamaru and Nara sad in the opening. No idea. No idea at this moment. It can be a number of different things. Who knows, another anime canon arc might, explore those territories. Who knows if the Shikamaru Shinden or those, you could say, novels may be adapted in the near future. Who knows, honestly. There are many times elements which are introduced in the openings which just go nowhere. Remember that what was the Battle Road song? I think a really good song it was for Boruto. That Koero Koero Koero, that thing where who is there along with Team 7? Team 7 is there obviously. Konohamaru and Team 7 is there, and they're fighting some villain whom we don't know. Like, he was a opening only villain. So yeah, it's not correct to overanalyze a lot of these openings all the single time. Yeah, this arc was the very best of Boruto so far. Story really progresses well. I won't say that it's really the best. I mean, it's definitely progressing good for Boruto, Kawaki and the others. I'm excited about them, but at the same time, what about the other characters? God damn it, they're just nowhere to be seen, found, or just seen or heard. Bro, will those Sasuke novels be animated this year for the Naruto 20th anniversary this year, or will there be a short manga? There is manga that's going to be adapted into the manga, not into the anime. I really want them to be adapted in the anime, but at least we are getting something in the form of the manga, so that's good. I wonder if at all they are going to introduce, like, if at all they introduce them in the anime. I don't think that they will be able to do it right now. Maybe someday in future as flashbacks they are done, because the Sasuke Shinden novels had Naruto like with the chakra sickness, with Kurama's chakra sickness, but now Naruto doesn't have Kurama at all. He has lost Kurama both in the anime as well as in the manga. So for the manga, it's fine that you introduce it as a separate entity, separate standalone thing. But for the anime, it's a cohesive thing altogether. So they have to either go into it as a flashback, or they will maybe have to do it in future someday. I think Ada will fight Sada later on in the story. Potentially, that's possible. For Daemon, I definitely believe that Daemon would be a good match for Mitsuki if it is probably, properly expanded. Mayank, you stole my joke. Boruto joins the Donut Gang. Wait, let's see. I don't know if I should showcase those memes here, but yeah, Boruto is definitely meeting Ace for a short span of time. It's not going to be a long span of time, but yeah, he's going to meet Ace for a short span of time. The Donut Gang is just that strong. It's just that strong. Check my Orochimaru theory up there, please. Wait. Bro, I think Orochimaru and Boruto had a meeting, and Orochimaru made another Mitsuki where Boruto can be reincarnated. In fact, I thought about it before having this video stream, that the Shin Uchihas, they are, not properly introduced in the manga yet. But what if Boruto utilizes the Shin Uchihas? I mean, Mitsuki might be a little bit too creepy for him, like he would be totally against an idea like that. But maybe, yeah, the help from Orochimaru could definitely be taken here in this particular regard to make an artificial body for him. But again, my major problems with these theories in a really huge fashion is what happens in time skip then? Like, we have already seen in the time skip that Boruto is having his regular body is just a little older, just that's it. So if he's using Mitsuki's body, that's not possible. If using the Shin Uchiha body, that's also not possible. So, and the same goes for Sasuke as well. I don't know if the karma or any of the reincarnations actually revive them in their actual body or not. Like, it's up for debate. I can't really say with 100% certainty at this moment, but you know what I'm just basically trying to say here. I hope we get more Boruto movies after the time skip. Yes, 100%. I love that. Where the hell is Kashin Koji? Chilling with Orochimaru, perhaps. Old friends catching up, who knows? But I genuinely believe that Kashin Koji should have gone to Orochimaru. Will Sada get the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? Only she takes Sasuke's eyes. I don't know. For the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, like realistically saying, she should get it. Otherwise, she will face a lot of problems. But at the same time, a series like Boruto can just introduce another eye. The uniqueness of the Sharingan is lost at this moment. I'm sorry about that. There's just so many more OP eyes that it's just losing its relevance here at this moment. I guess still recovering. Yeah, true. So that's pretty much it. There's one more thing which I wanted to discuss. Wait, am I forgetting something? I guess we needed to talk about the Jogan, right? So, okay, yeah. Hold on. Two more things which I wanted to discuss. There are two more things. Two more videos, in fact, which I wanted to make. So I want to do it here as well for the live stream. So, guys, I'm going to read the comments in just a bit. Let me finish these two parts first. So the main question here is that at the end of Boruto chapter 66, is Boruto actually dead? My answer to this would be yes. Boruto Uzumaki is actually dead. That is 100% correct. Now, why? Well, let's look at it from a story narrative point. Well, of course, like before beginning, we have to understand here that Boruto is not going to remain dead for the entirety of the series. That is not going to happen here. We have already seen, or we have already got the time skip moments wherein we got to see Teen Boruto versus Teen Kawaki. So it's understandable that Boruto is not going to remain dead for like a long period of time. But here at the end of chapter 66, Boruto is definitely dead. Now, why? Well, even before this chapter, even before the Hokage Rock moment, even before a lot of these other moments, in chapter 30, we had this interaction with Boruto and Kawaki where they are like brothers, like the brotherly interaction between these two characters started there. And at that moment, they both swore to each other, like even before chapter 30, I think. Or I think that was chapter 30. I'm sorry, I'm not able to correctly recall the number of the chapter. But it was at that moment where both of these characters decided or swore to each other that they are going to get rid of their karmas for each other. Now, Kawaki's end of the deal was completed, but Boruto's end of the deal was still remaining. At the same time, for a very long time, we have been getting these premonitions, or in a way, these foreshadows about Boruto's death. Not premonition, but rather foreshadows about Boruto's death, with the best one being perhaps Sasuke. Now, a lot of us got the red herring here that maybe Sasuke is going to die in order to trying to save Boruto, because he literally says that as your teacher, as your master, it's my duty to stop you from doing anything which you would not like, specifically while you are under the control of Momoshiki. And Boruto here, using the words of Sasuke, literally defines his Nindo, his way of the ninja. He had, prior to all of these things, admitted to Sada as well as to how his way of the ninja is to become a splendid shinobi just like Sasuke. So he gave his utmost trust to the decisions of Sasuke here, and it was pretty much foreshadowed that Sasuke is at least going to try to kill Boruto, if at all something goes south. The same was the case with Kawaki as well. During the Hokage Rock conversation, Boruto literally tells to Kawaki that if something goes wrong, you have to kill me. That's essentially the discussion which these two characters had. Because they are brothers, Boruto is willing to give Kawaki the access to do all of these things. And Kawaki also has accepted this fate that because you are my brother, I'm going to accept the fate that is going to come upon us. I will be the one who is going to get rid of your karma. No way, like whatever measure is needed, like whatever is going to be the last measure that is needed for this, I'm going to do it. Even if it's a do or die situation, I'm going to kill you if that's what is needed to be done at the very end. And now, the last chapter, how we saw Boruto, even after taking the pills given by Amado, was possessed by Momoshiki. So this is literally a do or die situation. He was about to kill his very own father, Naruto, and Boruto realizes the gravity of this situation. That's why he decides that it's time. He has to act upon his way of the ninja. He has to act upon his wrongdoings. He has to stop this nonsense once and for all. And this is something which he cannot ask his father to do. That's going to be a very, very difficult thing for him to do. He knows that his father loves him, and he knows that this would be a really psychological scar for his father, and that's why he says that since Sasuke is not in the vicinity, it's something which only Kawaki can do. It's something which only Kawaki has the right to do, and that's why he gives Kawaki the permission that, Kawaki, my brother, please kill me, please end this misery once and for all, please let's just put a stop to all of these things. And that's the reason why Boruto allows Kawaki to kill him once and for all. And now this is not a fake out. Boruto is just not saying these things to get out of harm's way. This is not a shadow clone which is being used here. This is legit Boruto Uzumaki in his true self and his true being, trying to stop the inevitable by killing himself. He wants to stop Momoshiki Otsutsuki here once and for all, and he does it like he asks Kawaki to do it before Momoshiki regains or retakes his body, repossesses his body. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Boruto has allowed Kawaki to kill him because that is his own decision here at this moment. And that is also reflected in the text, in the logo for this chapter, that is chapter 66 as well. Boruto, the logo is fading in the background, and that's a really nice touch as well in my opinion. Now at the same time, I 100% do not believe that this is a fake out. This is definitely the death of Boruto Uzumaki. But we all know that he's not going to remain dead forever, isn't it? So how? Well, we are going to talk about that in separate instance. Yeah, so that is Boruto's death explained. Any chat which I missed? I wonder if Hada is going to kill Code. Nah, not now. Now Sasuke can take and master the Jogan that Boruto is dead. No. Sasuke is not going to master the Jogan. Already the Jogan is not introduced into the manga so far. Gonna talk about Jogan soon. That would be the last topic of discussion for today. But Zoro will appear and help Naruto. I love you, Lucifer. I love you. Zoro is going to come here into the world of Naruto, and he's not just gonna use Santoryu. You know what is he gonna use? He's gonna use what was it? Hachi means 8, right? So Hachitoryu? I don't know if that's a good correct word or not. Let's just check this. Hachitoryu. Would that even make any sense? Oh yeah. It is indeed Hachitoryu. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was the style utilized by this guy as well. Yeah, so 8 sword style fighting. He is going to be motivated by Killer Bee, and he's going to use Hachitoryu in order to save Naruto once and for all. I love the Zoro memes. I genuinely love the Zoro memes. I bet next chapter they don't even address it and it becomes somebody else's perspective, maybe Shikadai. I don't want something like that to happen, but I definitely believe that next chapter we are going to get a point of view from, what was her name? Sumire, yeah. We are definitely going to get a point of view from Sumire. But for the last discussion of today, we are going to talk about the Jogan. So hello and welcome to Under YZ, and thank you so much for joining in. Today we're gonna talk about the Jogan, but not just the Jogan in itself, but rather we are also going to talk about the future of Boruto Uzumaki. Now seemingly in Boruto manga chapter 66, Boruto is actually dead. As I said before, Boruto is actually dead. This is not a fake out, this is not a scenario where he's using the shadow clones. He is actually dead at the end of this chapter. He's just lying motionless at the ground after the huge gaping wound that he got at the hands of Kawaki. So the question remains, what's next for Boruto? Of course, he's not going to remain dead. Of course, he's not going to remain dead for the entirety of the series. Of course, he's not going to remain dead for the entirety of the series. He has to come back in some way. He has to come back in some way or the other. He has to come back. We have already seen that in the time skip tease. There's Teen Kawaki, there's Teen Boruto. This entire fight happens. So what is the solution to all of these things? Well, I humbly believe that there can be two. There may be more. In fact, there might be 3 as well. But there will be 2 major instances or roads which the Boruto series can take at this moment for the character of Boruto Uzumaki. The first one is a more direct approach. The first one being the reintroduction, or rather the introduction of the Jogan into the manga. Now, yes, what should I say? The Jogan is still a very debatable concept into the Boruto series because let's be real about it, it has not been properly introduced into the manga. Anime canon and these things are still up for debate because we have actually not seen the Jogan properly in action in the manga. The moment with the Otsutsuki King or the Otsutsuki God was still debatable for a lot of people whether it was actually the Jogan or whether it was a Byakugan, but I still firmly believe that the Jogan is not an anime canon or an anime only thing. It has to be a real thing, otherwise it would be just a very messy situation overall. There is the words of Toneri Otsutsuki, so it has to be some meaning. It has to have some form of meaning. So the next chapter, it's a do or die situation for the Jogan. If the Jogan doesn't appear in the next chapter, it's just not going to happen anymore. I firmly believe that the next chapter is going to be the perfect opportunity for the Jogan to manifest once and for all. Maybe we might get some flashback or some, astral projection of Toneri Otsutsuki. It's possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible or it's definitely going to happen, but it's possible that we might get a projection of Toneri Otsutsuki along with the arrival of the Jogan. And that would directly lead us into some form of shenanigan where Boruto is in a way revived in a separate body wherein Toneri Otsutsuki helps him to rectify for his sins. And that will also sort of give us a hint towards the Otsutsuki civil war which is a thing which has been hinted for quite a while now. Um, Toneri might be from a different clan of the Otsutsuki, and he might be willing to go the extra step in order to help Boruto once and for all. So that is a potential that how Boruto is going to be eventually revived, but that would not really have a lot of consequence, honestly. I mean, sure, Jogan can actually appear in an almost seemingly dead Boruto the next chapter, but it would be quite anticlimactic to see him, getting revived just the next chapter, the chapter after that. So for the next theory, I would believe that, for the Boruto series to make an actual mark, Boruto should be kept dead for the next 10-15 chapters whatsoever. And while all of these things are happening, we should show the aftermath of this particular battle, what hell breaks loose with Kawaki regaining the karma powers, and whatever basically happens with the other villages as well. Now, this is something which I've already discussed in prior videos as well, as to how Kawaki's obsession for Naruto turns into a very dangerous predicament wherein Naruto is, you could say that a situation can very well arise where the other villages are accusing Naruto of concealing information, not revealing information, and thereby plotting with the Otsutsuki clan members. I mean, Gaara and the others cannot just go on and accuse Naruto because they have fought side by side, but there's a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of daimyo politics involved. So it's possible that some of the other villages might accuse Naruto here, and just because of this, just because of his, insane amount of respect, but even respect is a small word, his insane amount of reverence and obsession for Naruto, Kawaki just goes on and does rampage in some of the other villages. That's going to introduce a very tangential situation, a very critical situation, and the next 10-15 chapters might deal with the aftermath of these things. And while all of these are happening, Boruto is still kept dead, but at the back of all of these things, Boruto has the entire Jogan situation. I mean, Jogan should ideally be the correct way to move forward, but not just like in the next chapter. So ideally, while all of these things are happening for the next 10 to 15 chapters, the Jogan plot point can be brought up once again, and somehow or the other, Toneri Otsutsuki might revive Boruto without the astral projection or without Momoshiki's karma. But at the same time, it's not fully healed, because in the time skip we see that Boruto still has access to karma. So I believe that Momoshiki is still not going to be 100% cured, or Boruto is not going to be 100% cured of Momoshiki, but at the same time, because of some help from Toneri Otsutsuki, he's able to tap down the powers of Momoshiki, and Momoshiki is never really able to take over the body of Boruto once and for all. So I feel like this would be the correct tangent to move forward for the Boruto series. But still, at the end of the day, this is just a theory. This is not 100% proof of what is going to happen. But potentially, I do believe that this might be the actual future for Boruto Uzumaki to move forward in the series. And that will eventually, down the road, give us the path for the galactic scale of events to finally take place. I've already made a couple of videos in this particular regard, so just watch them. They are on the top I button and in the links in the description below. So yeah, this is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Toneri is freezed for 1000 years, bro. Yeah, definitely. Toneri is freezed for 1000 years. And that's why I believe his astral form will actually reveal, not his true body, his true self. He's just not going to appear in front of Momoshiki. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans which are actually at place here at this moment. Hey, sorry, looks like I'm so late for the stream. My question will be, will there be any funeral for Boruto? What do you think? So you could say that there will be a funeral. There is obviously going to be a funeral for Boruto, because if at all he doesn't wake up the next chapter, but I don't think that they're just going to burn his body or anything. He's going to be buried, perhaps, but at the same time, maybe Orochimaru might come into the picture to, see whatever is going on. So yeah, that is a important question. Sasuke can just yeah. I mean, it is not just about power. Sasuke can definitely defeat the other Kages, but it's a political tangent at this moment, and Naruto has to deal with these things without just utilizing or flexing his powers. So that's the basic thing here at this moment. So I think this is pretty much it. Quite a long stream we had today. Thank you everyone for joining in. Let me just quickly check how long have we been streaming. It's been quite a long time, almost 1 hour 15 minutes 40 minutes. So yeah, that's really fine. So thank you so much everyone of you for joining in. I'll see you all on the next one then. I'm also quite tired today, so yeah, I'm gonna end this stream today. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining in. Thank you for sticking by. Please do subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you want to support the channel, join the channel membership, give a super chat, give a super sticker. That would be really appreciated. Okay, so this is it for today guys. See you all on the next one. Good night, sweet dreams.